Hi, in this demo, I'll showcase integration between HiBob and Atlassian Service Collection or Jira Service Management. I'll cover three integration patterns that OnLink supports. Integration pattern 1 is webhooks. HiBob supports webhook events where when a particular event matches, let's say employee is hired, employee is terminated, HiBob will push that notification data to OnLink. So the configuration starts with the webhook page in OnLink where you will create a webhook, and the first step is to select the system as generic, the request type or issue type, so where we will create the ticket using that particular request type or issue type. The process starts with using config skip auth equal to true. That's for the initial configuration. Save it. And this is the URL that we will use on the HiBob site. So copy the URL. Go to HiBob screen. Once you log in, go to the integrations tools webhooks. Create a webhook. Give it a name. Let's say OnLink new. Use the URL that we configured on the OnLink site. Here, this is where you will select the event. So I'll create some sample, sample notifications, like when employee is created, left, etc. If you have organization, you want to, remove certain employees, etc. You can set additional conditions. Click on add. Now this will create a webhook on the HiBob site. So go here, get the secret, copy it, go back to OnLink. Here, remove the skip authentication because we received the secret key. Paste the secret key and click on done. Now the first phase of the configuration is complete. Now whenever there is an event in HiBob that we wanted to capture, will be received by OnLink and create the tickets on the relevant project and the issue type. For additional mapping and fields that are required, you can view it in our documentation. So let me show you a sample ticket on how it will look when the webhook runs and creates the ticket. So you will have a parent ticket with all the field mappings of the employee name, start dates, etc. available. And then you can do additional automations to create child tickets for onboarding and offboarding. So that covers integration pattern 1, which is webhooks. Now I'll move to assets. One of the common use cases from customers is, hey, I want all my employee data in assets, where I want to take my employee data, which we can look it up for, common ITSM tickets. Let's say my laptop needs to be replaced, or my identity role group needs to be changed, etc. Having it in assets makes it easier to look up and make the ticket automation and approval steps added easily. So here I have a test schema where I have the HiBob employee details available for mapping. The process starts on the asset configuration site in OnLink, where you will create an asset import to map the HiBob employee data to the asset schema. It's really straightforward, where you will select the object type. In this case, like the employee schema is what I want to use, and the mapping. So here the mappings is HiBob data mapped to the asset schema. So you can use the map functionalities here to do the mapping, or the text editor directly. You can use the fetch API sample to see the sample records available, useful for mapping. So I'll do a quick manual run to showcase how that import looks like. So it's a two-step process for manual runs. You can also automate it to do it on a scheduled basis. So the first step is get data. This will fetch the data from HiBob and use available in the asset schema for storage for us to process it. Here you will see the process is started. I have 46 sample records on my HiBob instance. It will start to process it. You will see a notification where the get data is completed successfully. So that will signify the first step of the import is complete. Once that notification message is received, you will do the import. For example, I see a get data completed. Now I'll go to my assets page and do the import. So this will refresh my asset schema that I have it on the Jira Service Management assets. So now let me switch my screen here. If I refresh my page, I see 46 records uploaded. And if I select a particular field, I have my employee details available and ready to go. So you will see all the employee details. Now I can refer these asset schema objects in my tickets on custom fields on a request type and use it for additional insights and validations. Now I will move on to the third design pattern, which is from my ticket I want to push to HiBob. So these could be employee updates like emails, roles, groups, changes, etc., where the integration data flow is from JSM to HiBob. The way we support is to use the post function feature in the workflow. So in a given workflow, we can edit the workflow, select the transition step that I want to add, select an action. Here you will be able to see OnLink. Select the OnLink option. In the system, select Bob, and now you will see the functions that we support. So you can, let's say I want to add an employee. You can do the mapping, where we map the fields and map it and select a custom field. And you add this post function step in the workflow. And now when the workflow runs and the step transition conditions are met, OnLink will push the event to HiBob for the post functions that we support. So to summarize, OnLink supports 3 integration patterns between HiBob and Service Collection. First, HiBob webhook notification. Second, HiBob to assets integration. And the third, JSM ticket to HiBob updates. Hope you find this demo useful. For additional information, visit OnLink page in the Atlassian marketplace. Thank you.